Today on 2+U Nevada.
Students, you got to try it out. And even if you don't enjoy that type of engineering, now you know what might be a better fit for you. So you got to put yourself out there and see what civil engineering feels like, or aerospace, or any of the ones we offer.
Believe it or not, it's time to start thinking about summer camps for your kids. And registration for some pretty cool options open this weekend.
So wildfires, although they're natural disturbance, our ecosystems that we live in are used to fire, so they're natural, they're gonna happen, but they're stressful.
We know that large-scale wildfires can happen at any time of year here in the Truckee Meadows. Are you fire ready? Some tips on how to ensure you're ready at a moment's notice. Plus,
initially I kind of thought Kendrick Lamar had it in the bag. Now, I've kind of changed my tune, and I think it's more of a race.
music's biggest night is just 2 days away. A look at who is expected to win big at the Grammy Awards comes Sunday. You're watching 2+U Nevada. It's home.
Put everything back in your house the way you like it.
With community and family.
And this really is a family affair.
It's local food.
I got garlic in mine, capers.
It's health and wellness. Plus,
But we don't have these, and we could be using them.
With plenty of entertainment. 2+U Nevada, brought to you by 911 Restoration. Thank you for joining us for this edition of 2+U Nevada. I'm Sarah Johns, your host. If you're a parent, you know it can be so hard. Little kids have big feelings. And it was really apparent in our household last night, so I started doing what I do when I feel out of control. Research, AKA Google. And there's something that I'd never heard of and want to share. It's called wobbly tooth puberty. That term is the literal translation of the word there on your screen, a German word that I'm not even going to attempt to say. But apparently it identifies the time of life generally around age 6 in kids, or when they start to lose their baby teeth. It has nothing to do with hormones, but it is the start of what is called middle childhood. It's a time of major change for kids when they're creating their identity, finding out who they relate or how they relate with others in the world. It's a time when kids are expected to be more independent, but don't really know how to be independent, so they get frustrated. And it's a time when they really start to create friendships or understand being liked and being unliked. So with all of that, if you have a 6-year-old and you're wondering what in the heck is happening here, Google wobbly tooth puberty. You'll find some great information. Just thought I'd share that. We have a fantastic show lined up for you today. We talk Super Bowl, flying with changes from the TSA, and get this, rings with meat in them. Don't go anywhere. Thank you for joining us today for 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada, and I'm so excited to have Julia Lapham back in studio today. Of course, the Senior Coordinator of Recruitment and Outreach for the University of Nevada, Reno's College of Engineering. Julia, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me again.
So we had you here earlier, and throughout the discussion, I was learning how much you are doing for our youth in the community, doing outreach to make college accessible, to make the word engineering interesting to students in STEM and STEAM programs, but also just in any school whatsoever. And now you've got summer camps to talk about.
Yeah, we're so excited. We're getting ready for them to launch registration February 1st at 8 a.m. We're going to have 5 different summer camps this summer. We're going to have 2 for middle school students and 3 for high school students.
And it's crazy that we're talking about summer camps right now, but if you're not planning ahead, trust me, you need to register for whatever summer camp you're thinking of really in the spring. And so you said that these camp registrations open in February. That's why we're talking about it now, so that you can start thinking about what kind of summer camps you have. And you said that there are 2 middle school camps. Yeah. So let me ask you, with these middle school camps, can children who just completed 5th grade and who will be entering 6th grade, do they qualify for this type of summer camp?
They absolutely do. Yes.
Okay, wonderful. And what are the middle school summer camps?
Yes. So for this summer, we're going to have an introductory engineering middle school camp. So they're going to learn about the engineering design process. They're going to get to learn more about all of the different majors that we have in our college and do a lot of hands-on activities. And then for our second camp, it's a brand new camp this year. We're doing inventions and innovations. We're so excited. As a lot of people know, in Reno, there are so many small businesses and entrepreneurs, and we really want to play along with that goal of our city. And so this camp will have a lot of focus on entrepreneurship. We're working with our Small Business Development Center. We're going to be actually having them do a Shark Tank pitch style project throughout the week.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so you've got the one which is kind of engineering everywhere. It's more of an overview, because if you hear the word engineer, there are lots of different types of engineers. So you're going to be going through where engineering is in our community. Is that what it's going to be?
Yes. So we're going to be talking about, for example, our chemical engineering program, and then they're going to be doing some tie-dye activities to show how, right, we're trying to help them connect these simple activities in their day-to-day lives with what engineering actually is, because it's in all of the things we see in our community.
Right. Oh, I love that. And then engineering design process.
Yeah, that's kind of like the scientific method. It is where, engineers are going in, they're coming up with an idea, and then they're actually developing that idea, testing out that idea, and seeing if it's feasible. And so we're helping these kiddos understand that to be an engineer means you're going to be doing a lot of trial and error, and that's a fun thing. That's an exciting thing.
Absolutely. They love that for sure. Okay, and then the high school camps. There are 2 that are 5 days, and then you have high school camps that are mini high school camps that are 2 days.
Yes, we are starting this 2-day camp for the first time this summer. It's going to be an aerospace engineering theme.
Wow.
Yes. So we know that aerospace engineering is really up and coming right now. And in our university, we actually started an aerospace engineering major this past fall.
We had the engineering club and your aerospace engineering professor on this show earlier when our show first started.
Yes, they are phenomenal. They're going to be heavily involved, actually, that club and that Professor Dr. Aditya Nair. So we're really excited to be developing this.
That is so cool. Okay, so that one, the 2-day one, that is specific to aerospace. Let's go into the other high school camps, Engineering Adventures. What is that one?
Engineering Adventures is essentially each day for the first half of the day, we're going to be talking about our different majors and then doing hands-on activities. And then in the afternoons, we're going on field trips to local organizations that represent that type of engineering.
Oh, cool.
Yes.
Okay. And then your other high school camp is Civil and Environmental Engineering. So explain what kids will see there.
Yes, so for that one, we work really closely with the civil engineering firm JUB Engineering, who's actually helping sponsor this camp. So we'll be working with them and our faculty to do hands-on civil experiments. So one thing we do is cure concrete canoes, which the Concrete Canoe Club on campus is a huge deal. So we're getting them exposed to that, helping them understand what transportation is, right? Analytics of seeing our traffic flow. We're helping them. They'll actually get to do test driving in a modular system. It's really a cool camp if they have any interest in civil engineering, construction, or just architecture.
That's so neat. And this really helps children too, and when I say children, I mean young adults as well. This really helps them identify that, if they think they want to be an engineer and they go to these camps, it will help them kind of select which avenue they would like to go in.
That's the goal. I always tell students, you got to try it out. And even if you don't enjoy that type of engineering, now you know what might be a better fit for you. So you got to put yourself out there and see what civil engineering feels like, or aerospace, or any of the ones we offer.
Sure. And full disclosure, if your high schooler attends one of the high school camps, it doesn't help you get into the College of Engineering once you graduate, right?
No, it doesn't necessarily help you get into the college, but you're going to have familiarity with staff and current students on campus. We actually have had a student worker of ours who attended one of our camps when he was in high school, is now in his master's program and is still working on our team supporting the program.
And that's what you want.
Yes.
That's why you're doing this outreach. Okay, so where can people go to register? Again, registration opens in February 1st at 8 a.m.
Yes, ma'am. So they will be available on our website, our College of Engineering at the University of Nevada's outreach website. And if they just go into our K-12 program, summer camps is right there, and you can select and look at the dates for each camp, the costs for each camp, and some more of the details so that you can figure out which one will be best for your family.
And quickly, before we wrap up, I do want to say with the cost of these camps, scholarships are available. Is that information on your website as well?
Absolutely. They just need to get in contact with our coordinator of K-12 outreach, Paige Freese, and she will walk them through the whole process because, again, we want to make these camps as accessible to everyone as possible.
Julia, thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. Joining us this afternoon, Megan Kay, manager of Living with Fire with the University of Nevada Extension. Now is the perfect time for us to be discussing fire prevention, fire awareness, especially since we've seen some really big fires in November and December months.
Yes, and you can probably speak to that, but having experience, we were talking off camera earlier that
I've been evacuated.
You've been evacuated, right?
Yes.
So yeah, in northern Nevada, we tend to have heavier fire years, more fire activity later in the year. So September, October, November, and even December. One of our most destructive fires in Reno happened in December.
February, right?
No, I think it was like New Year's Eve.
Oh gosh, yes, it was crazy.
Yeah.
And like you said, so we were evacuated during what I like to call the second Cullen Ranch fire. I'm not entirely, but I think Pine Haven was the name.
I think it was Pine Haven, yeah.
Yeah, and one thing, I'm going to go out of order. One thing is our kids were quite young. They were toddler age, and talking about fire and talking about evacuations with children is something that you guys are actually developing.
Yeah, so wildfires, although they're natural disturbance, our ecosystems that we live in are used to fire, so they're natural, they're going to happen, but they're stressful and they can be traumatic. So when talking about fire with our families, it's important to remember that our little ears are listening and they're processing. So we want to talk about it, but we want to talk about it in an age-appropriate way and acknowledge the feelings of everyone in the family, including the youngest members. So,
And in the near future, you're going to have some learning documents to provide our schools, summer camps, and all that.
Yeah, so we recognize this as a need to be able to communicate with kids about fire. So we're developing our Living with Fire Children's Activity Book. It's actually going through peer review right now. So we sent it out to our colleagues to kind of take a look at it, give some revisions, and hopefully that will be ready early 2026. And then we're going to have a guide, a facilitator's guide along with it. So camp leaders, teachers, we're going to do some workshops on how to teach
fantastic
kids. Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into some nitty-gritty for folks at home. If you have to evacuate, what are some key things when it comes to an evacuation plan?
Well, when it comes to an evacuation plan, first you want to know if a wildfire is happening in your community. So that's number one. You need to stay informed. So you can go to your county emergency manager's website and figure out what system they use to notify their residents. In Washoe County, it's Smart 911. And if you go to Washoe County Emergency Management website or just Google Washoe County Smart 911, you can sign up.
And one thing that I want to interject is because we were using Code Red, they switched from Code Red to this new plan, and you said all of that information has already been transferred, but only for 1 year. You need to actually go in.
Yeah, so I think if you were enrolled in like City of Reno utilities, for example, like if you pay a water bill, they did migrate some information over, but that's not forever. So you need to go in and actually create your account. And what's cool about Smart 911 is you can add pet information, you can add kids, any specific information about your house that emergency managers might want us to know. And it's not just for fire, it's for if an ambulance has to come to your home for whatever reason and there's something you want to let the first responders know, you can put that in there.
Perfect. Okay, so you also need a go bag, a home inventory. Let's talk about that.
So home inventory is really important, especially when it comes to insurance and knowing exactly what your assets are. A lot of people are underinsured. If you have valuables in your home that aren't necessarily on your home insurance policy, or maybe you did some improvements to your home, if something happens, hopefully it never does, but if something happens, you have to file an insurance claim. You actually have to have proof that you have those assets inside your home. So
a quick tip from my insurance agent is every time you change your clocks, take a video with your cell phone of every single room email it to yourself because you may not have a computer if you got evacuated. You may not have the physical evidence, but if you emailed those videos to yourself, you'll be able to remotely access your email.
That's a great tip. I'm actually going to steal that tip.
Okay,
And so
perfect.
when you, every time you reset your clocks, yeah. So just a quick cell phone video is really what you need.
We've got about a minute left. So let's talk defensible space.
Yeah.
Because you were telling me, and I just think of 30 feet, but you're saying that folks need to actually focus on the 5 feet also.
Yeah, I mean, the area of, from your home 30 feet out is very important. But if you're looking for a place to start when creating that defensible space, just start with your front door and work out. So that means looking at the 0 to 5 foot zone all the way around your house and your deck and any attached garages. And if you have unattached structures, it includes that as well. So you have to do defensible space around there. And the whole point of defensible space is to reduce the fire intensity. So if a fire is coming into your landscape, like in Color Ranch, for example, we can't necessarily stop the fire, but if we can create an environment where the fire goes from a more intense to a lower intense fire, then that'll give crews space to safely come in and defend your home.
Okay, well, we're going to wrap things up. But the extension has some amazing publications like this one, Living with Fire Defensible Space Guide. Also, Be Ember Aware. This guide is a fantastic resource, not to necessarily redo your home, but take a look at your existing home. And these are downloadable digitally really quick. We've got 10 seconds. Give us your website.
Livingwithfire.org.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here, Megan.
Thank you, Sarah.
You're watching 2+U Nevada. You are watching 2+U Nevada. I am so excited to have Joel Jansen, the owner of Sierra Homebuyers, with us this afternoon. Joel, thanks for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You are so recognizable because we've seen your commercials here on KTVN, but the star of the commercials, not you. I'm sorry.
I know.
It's not you.
I know. I'd say that. No.
Who are the stars?
The twin boys.
Yeah,
They're
how old are they now?
They're 8. They're 8, and
Cheating.
they went on when they were 6 months old, so they've been.
Yeah, and oh my gosh. So
Or 6 months old, sorry.
so you can't go anywhere with those boys now without being recognized, right?
We get called out a lot. And it's pretty fun, actually. I was walking across Trader Joe's parking lot. A guy stops like, "You're that guy. You're that guy." And he's like, "With the twins." It was really fun. And you go in different stores and around town, and yeah.
So the twins, what do they think of their fame and Dad's business?
Well, they now are old enough to try and bribe us during the TV shoot, so that they get excited about, and maybe a dinner out after. They get a little shy sometimes, or other times they're like, "That's me. Yeah, that's me," when they get called out.
That's so cute. Well, juggling life, juggling parenting, and working, it takes a lot, but you do it with grace.
I fake it well.
But you actually are there holding people's hands through some pretty tough times. Kind of go through a broad brush of what Sierra Homebuyers does.
So a lot of people reach out to us to sell their house directly. Different reasons. Some of them want to do it fast. They just want it simple. They want to do the traditional route. They don't want to do the repairs. So then after that point, they call in and we would schedule an appointment to go out the house and check out the house. And from there, it's a big problem solving. We're working together to try and figure out what are your challenges, what are your thoughts? Because people say they've been waiting a year or two or thinking about this for years and just don't know how to make a decision on what's best for them. And we go through that, and by the end, they're like, "Wow, you just figured out years of what I've been trying to do in less than 2 hours."
And the stress, because you're dealing with sometimes people who are in financial straits, or the children who are taking care of their elderly parents.
Yeah, they rightfully have a lot of stress. That's the way to say it. And our goal is just to figure it out to eliminate it. And that's the cool part, is seeing the relief when you're like, "I can do this. This can be done. I didn't think we could get this done. I didn't think about this way out. Wow, you brought something new to the table I never thought about as an option." And honestly, a lot of times we aren't the right match. And I'm the first to say it. My team is the first to say it. But we promise to guide everybody to what we think is best or give them suggestions, because one of our goals is to leave every interaction better than we find it.
So after you had the boys, or after the twins were born, how did that change your perspective on the business that you do?
Oh, okay, you got me. I understood more who was helping on the sidelines versus the front people. When you don't have kids, it's a little different that way. You're just thinking about the parents or the couple or whatever the scenario is. And then understanding some of the challenges that the children might be going through, being part of it or supporting or dealing with an inheritance after and all that emotional stress, it made me focus even more on those parameters as the problem versus running the numbers or something.
Right. And did that enhance your company's core principles?
Yeah, I would say, because the two mottos are find a way and leave every interaction better than we find it. So we've got to put on our brains here. Like our DNA is not no, it's get creative, because I hear so many businesses like, we can't do that because of this. I don't want that the norm. That's the, hey, we've uncovered every rock, and that's the only way it gets down to a no. So you just get more determined, more focused, like how can we really find the way to solve something? There's some deep problems we have to come up with and solve.
Yeah, tough market, huh?
Tough market. And also just there's title issues, there's banks, you've got financial stuff going on, you've got property condition, you've got time restraints, you've got job restraints. So there's it all bundles together, and then throw on a little slower market or anything like that going on, and it just creates more uncertainty.
Mm-hmm. I want to go back to your company's core principles, because you are so giving in the community. Please run through the charities that you guys give to.
Okay, so every quarter we do a give back here locally. So Ronald McDonald House, which then helps with families in crisis during medical emergencies. We do the Boys and Girls Club, which is kind of investing in the next future. We've done for the Eddie House, which helps homeless youth kind of find stability. And then we do the Veterans House as well, which, honoring those who served, since we work with a lot of vets as well. And that's every quarter, not just like a one-time event sort of thing, that we're always trying to look and see who we can help in the community. So basically, whenever you sell a house to us, you're indirectly sponsoring and helping out all those, organizations as well.
So if people need to get in touch with you and want to learn more about your company, where do they go?
Okay, so you can go to SierraHomebuyers.com and fill out a simple form, and we get back to you really quick, especially during business hours. You can call 455-4500. You might have heard that jingle before. You can check out our social media for a lot of our community donations and things like that. But my biggest thing I hear is, when I hear people say, I wish I would have called years ago, is that making the call is the hardest step. So if you're overwhelmed or stressed or just need some help or some guidance on what to do with your house, we are here when you are ready. Please give us a call. We'd love to help you.
Joel Jansen, thank you so much. You're watching 2+U Nevada. If you have the cash, watching the Super Bowl in person is the closest it's been to our region in a decade. But again, you'll have to have the cash. Super Bowl 60 tickets are quickly selling, and the average cost is higher than last year's in New Orleans. Dustin Dorsey tallies up the cost for Super Bowl 60 and has a look at what fans can expect.
Levi Stadium in the Bay Area are ready to welcome hundreds of thousands of fans for Super Bowl 60.
According to our Going State of Travel, for yet another year, sports is one of the top 4 reasons why people are looking to travel in 2026. And the Super Bowl is really considered a mega event.
Going.com travel expert Katie Nastro says a lot of the costs surrounding this Super Bowl are cheaper than last year's in New Orleans, but that doesn't mean it's easily affordable. Nastro says fans are paying an average of more than $300 for flights to the Bay, with bookings from Seattle and Boston at the top. Meanwhile, our ABC7 data team found nightly hotel rates are up $2,300 to stay in downtown San Francisco on average for Super Bowl weekend. And Nastro says prices rise region-wide the closer you are to the big events.
By looking a little bit further out from where that stadium is, maybe equidistant from that and the airport or the larger airports in the area, you're going to find more hotel options. And yes, the Uber might be a little bit more expensive, but you are going to save on your hotel costs.
Thankfully, there is an affordable travel accommodation you can buy, a Caltrans or VTA pass. You can travel to and from free park and ride lots to the Super Bowl for a low cost of $27.50 on game day. And with traffic and parking costs, it might be the best way to get around.
VTA is the easier and safer way to get to the game and all events around it, including SJ26 events happening throughout downtown San Jose.
Meanwhile, if you're heading over the hill for the big game, beware of the merch. Official pop-up shops are already rolling into the Bay Area. Most of the NFL Shops merchandise pop-up stores will be in San Francisco hotels starting Thursday. But they're now open around Fisherman's Wharf. Monica Madden checked out the shops and has tips for knowing which merch is the real deal.
The Super Bowl countdown is on.
We're waiting for the real fans to come in.
And the NFL pop-up shops are ready.
Here's a motorcycle jacket, very popular.
60, hike! All right, it's the calm before the storm in the NFL Super Bowl shop here where you can get merch for everyone. If you're feeling crazy like me, a helmet. Got lots of jackets with the Super Bowl logos on here. If you're going to the game, you want to make sure you have that clear bag for the policy. Now, I have a feeling a lot of us 49ers fans probably won't be that interested in the hats with the two teams that did make it, but there are the generic Super Bowl hats, something for everyone here at the store.
You can't miss the NFL pop-up truck around the corner.
I see there's not a lot of people down here like it usually be.
Even though it's empty now, staff are bracing for a flood of fans next week.
If you can before Wednesday, please come see us because the line is a 2-hour wait sometimes.
But watch out for those fakes. Last year, DHS seized nearly $40 million in counterfeit sports merchandise ahead of the Super Bowl in New Orleans.
Everything we sell in the store has a Super Bowl logo on it. And you can always look for the hologram on the item to ensure that it's real.
If you see a tent or tables set up on the street, it's likely selling fakes. The official pop-up stores will have Super Bowl and NFL signage outside. Another red flag, if the merch is heavily discounted or cash only.
With the Super Bowl just a week away, we're getting glimpses of this year's entertainment. Not the halftime show, the commercials. Here's David Daniel with today's Hollywood Minute.
Touching ham, touching cheese, touching you. Sweet sandwich time.
Andy Samberg channels Neil Diamond, turning a diner into a concert hall in the new Super Bowl ad for Hellmann's Mayonnaise. Making her big game commercial debut, self-proclaimed Mayo superfan Elle Fanning.
I'll be seeing you very soon.
Not if I see you first.
The top two Oscar contenders will also do battle at the BAFTAs. One battle after another leads this year's BAFTA Film Awards nominations with 14, followed closely by Sinners with 13 nominations. The 79th British Academy Film Awards take place February 22nd in London.
I know it feels like it's the end of the world, but it's not. I saw the end of the world. I had a ringside seat for it.
A Holocaust survivor who's never told his story connects with an alienated teenager in The Optimist. Stephen Lang from Avatar and Elsie Fisher from 8th Grade star in the drama. The first trailer just dropped. The Optimist, based on a true story, opens in theaters March 11th. In Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. If you're flying this weekend, you might want to check your driver's license first. Starting Sunday, if you don't have one of those Real ID licenses or a passport, it's going to cost you extra to get on the plane. About 150,000 people each day go to TSA checkpoints without a compliant Real ID. Chris Van Cleve reports.
When Raquel Washington flew to Las Vegas for her birthday in November, the New Jersey resident didn't have a real ID when she got to TSA.
They made it pretty easy for us to come through without our real ID. I think they just scan our fingerprints pretty much just to determine who we are.
But the next time she flies, she may have to pay the TSA $45 as part of the agency's new TSA Confirm ID program launching Sunday. Passengers with non-compliant forms of identification must go to a TSA website, sign up, and pay the fee before they can access security. But that fee is only good for 10 days.
If I don't have a real ID and I don't pay this fee, will I be turned away at the checkpoint?
You could be in risk of not making your flight.
TSA Executive Administrator for Security Operations, Steve Lawrence.
Why is it necessary to charge somebody $45 for this?
Absolutely. We want to make sure that the system is modernized. We want to make sure that we're covering down on the latest technology. We're also ensuring that in this situation, this cost is not bared by the taxpayers. This cost is bared by the individual that doesn't have a real ID-compliant driver's license.
New signage with a QR code is going up at airport checkpoints. Flyers can pay on the spot at the airport if necessary. After years of delays, the TSA began requiring flyers to show a real ID, typically a driver's license with a star like this, or other approved forms of identification like a passport, military, or tribal ID last May.
94% of flyers have a compliant ID. TSA says they shouldn't see anything different. But for folks that have paid this fee, they advise allotting 15 to 30 minutes to get through security, more if you're going to do it at the airport on the spot. This is a clear effort to push people to get their real IDs as soon as possible. Chris Van Cleve, CBS News, Phoenix.
Well, nothing says I love you more than a hunk of meat. And just in time for Valentine's Day, Longhorn Steakhouse is entering the jewelry business. Get this, the restaurant chain is launching limited edition steak commitment rings, handcrafted with real Longhorn steak and seasoning. Yep, you'd be wearing meat. The stones are designed to match your preferred doneness from rare to well done. Again, these rings contain actual real steak and seasoning sealed within the stone. The rings go on sale February 4th for $50 and include free shipping. Speaking of food, up next, we look at the historic significance of the American diner. We'll be right back. As we use this year to celebrate America's 250th anniversary of the United States Declaration of Independence, CBS is providing some really cool stories. It's a series called USA to Z, and we will run them here on 2+ Nevada. Today, celebrating a staple of the American cuisine and culture, the American diner. Kelly O'Grady reports.
When it comes to American food, there's perhaps nothing more quintessential than the American diner. Its roots date back to Providence, Rhode Island, over 150 years ago. A tasteful history diner expert Richard Gutman has studied closely.
The first diners were called night lunch wagons, and they served people who were out at night after other restaurants had closed. The diner was a place that was open to all and served quick food at a good price.
Lunch wagons later transformed into lunch cars, stationary fixtures that resembled train cars. Wilson's Diner in Waltham, Massachusetts opened in 1946 and remains one of the few original lunch cars still operating.
Any french fries?
That lunch car design has helped inspire the classic diner look we see today.
The diner is unique in the landscape in that no other building looks like a diner. But you know what it is when you see it, and what other building really announces itself in that way.
At Boulevard Diner in Worcester, Massachusetts,
Who has the bowling?
once known as Lunch Car Number 730,
Good morning, Boulevard.
it's as busy as it was when they first fired up the grill in 1936.
You're welcome.
The George family is now onto its fourth generation of family members running the show in the kitchen. including short order cook Gabriella George.
This is a multi-generational family business. For many, that's the American dream. How important is that to your family?
It's very important. It means a lot.
Why do you think that people still enjoy the diner experience?
I think they come for the vibes. They come for a slightly cheaper food. They come for the home-cooked meals. I think they could just come for the love.
The scrambled bacon.
Beyond fascination for the cuisine, where ordering breakfast for dinner is a welcomed request, diners have also become a symbol of American culture.
Diners have become iconic in films. They're identifiable with American culture.
Gutman estimates there are around 2,000 diners operating across the country today, down from 3 times that number in the 1950s. Like many small businesses, rising rent and labor costs have driven some diners to close. But in New Jersey, deemed the diner capital of the world, with at least 400 of them throughout the state, the appetite for diners remains steady. Top's Diner in Newark was named the best diner in America in 2017, serving upwards of 15,000 customers a week, under the helm of co-owner James Galemis.
Cook that burger up right now.
Why do you think diners are so iconic to America?
I don't know. It's like, why is the Statue of Liberty in New York City so amazing? I've never been there. When you go outside and you see like license plates from like other states all over, and they stop here, it's such a good feeling.
Time to dig in.
Oh my God. Oh, that's really good.
While the number of diners has dwindled over the years, Gutman believes they might just hold the secret recipe for standing the test of time.
The concept of the diner will be here forever, and I am one to say that they will never go away.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Are you a business or nonprofit and want to be featured on 2+ Nevada? Have a Mom to Mom Monday, a Tried It Tuesday, or even a cute pic you just want to show us? The whole point of 2+ Nevada is the plus you. You can send us your content by visiting our website. Head to 2news.com and click on 2+ Nevada, or you can email us at 2plusnevada@ktvn.com. Music's biggest night is only a couple days away. The Grammy Awards will air right here on KTVN Sunday. Kendrick Lamar, Lady Gaga, and Sabrina Carpenter are setting up the tempo with a combined 22 Grammy nominations. Gwen Baumgartner is taking note of who's expected to win big.
Kendrick Lamar leads the 2026 Grammys with 9 nominations, an encore of last year's success where he took home 5 awards. He's competing again for Record of the Year alongside Bad Bunny, Sabrina Carpenter, Doechii, Billie Eilish, Lady Gaga, Chappell Roan, and Rosé and Bruno Mars.
Initially, I kind of thought Kendrick Lamar had it in the bag. Now, I've kind of changed my tune, and I think it's more of a race in some of the top categories between Bad Bunny and Lady Gaga.
Music critic Chris Willman says the Grammys voter base is evolving.
One thing the Recording Academy has done recently is invite everyone who votes for the Latin Grammys to become a voter for the regular Grammys. And so that is going to cause a big shift, I think, in giving Latin music more of a chance.
Puerto Rican powerhouse Bad Bunny is nominated for 6 Grammys. Newcomer Leon Thomas also has 6 nominations.
That's a real vote of confidence for him. He's kind of the anointed one this year.
However, Willman predicts Olivia Dean will take the award for Best New Artist. She faces off against Thomas, Cat's Eye, The Marias, influencer Addison Rae, Somber, Alex Warren, and messy singer Lola Young. But music's biggest night includes more than just music.
Best audiobook, where you've got the Dalai Lama versus Fab from Milli Vanilli. And only at the Grammys does that become a competition.
The category also includes actress Kathy Garver, Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson, and Trevor Noah, who returns to host the Grammys for the 6th time. Gwen Baumgartner, CBS News, Los Angeles.
And that's it for this edition of 2 Plus U Nevada. Thank you for inviting us into your home this afternoon. We look forward to joining you every weekday at 3 for 2 Plus U Nevada. 2 News Nevada at 4 starts now.